Forgive me, Outlander, but I have enough to deal with. I'm just a simple tribunal priest, and the trouble at the ancestral tomb was too much for even our buoyant armiger to deal with. I have failed Lord Vivec, and left a colleague alone at the tomb. Lord Vivec sent the three of us to seek guidance at the Andrano ancestral tomb. We were attacked when we got there, and our guard was seriously hurt. I barely got her to safety, but we failed to complete the mission Lord Vivec bestowed upon us. Canon Levoul. He remained behind after we retreated from the tomb. I know he wants to get back inside and ask Lord Vivec's questions, but there's no way he can get past the Daedra, or ask the questions on his own. May the three grant him wisdom.
Jonathan, what's wrong? Someone help!
Why, the three! First a wounded armiger, now this!
By dawn and dusk, evil creeps through the shadows of my beloved Vardenfell. But an outlander arrives to aid my people, just as I have foreseen.
Those words, what do they mean? What happened? Merciful Azura, the Mother Soul spoke through you. It's a miracle!
Lord Vivec, protect me! That was Azura, the Queen of the Night Sky. And you, she spoke directly to you, Outlander. I'm surprised the Daedric Prince would risk Lord Vivec's wrath to proclaim a prophecy. But she did say you were here to aid us. The Daedric Prince Azura possessed that woman and spoke through her. I've heard of such occurrences, of course, but to witness such an event... She said evil creeps through the land. I wonder if it has anything to do with what we saw at the tomb. We sought guidance in a matter that concerns Lord Vivec. I received specific questions to ask while Levoul concentrated on summoning his ancestor. The Daedra ruined those plans when they fell upon Urnsey, and we were forced to flee. Vile creatures from oblivion. You hear about an odd ghost or a nest of vampires, but never Daedra. Please, if they're still there, they'll rip Canon Levoul apart. He's definitely not a warrior. Just look at what they did to the buoyant armiger. The buoyant armigers comprise one of the military orders of the Tribunal Temple. They seek to emulate Lord Vivec's deeds through actions and words. Poor Urnsey. Those monsters went straight for her. Her blood flowed like lava from Red Mountain. Where are you from? Children learn of Red Mountain before they even taste Flynn. The mountain sits at the center of Vardenfell, periodically rumbling like a sleeping Nyx shaking its leg. Lately, however, it seems to be waking from its long slumber. Azura is the cruel but wise Daedric Prince of Dawn and Dusk. She's one of the good Daedra, for what that's worth. But for her to speak through an innocent means something terrible is about to happen. Why else would she dare Lord Vivec's wrath? What do they teach you where you come from? Lord Vivec's a living god! Azura is merely the anticipation of Sophacian. Vivec stands as the present and the future, while Azura clearly represents Vardenfell's past. So no, they don't get along. You don't know Lord Vivec, one of the living gods of the Dunmer Tribunal. You must be new to our land, Outlander. But there's no time. Canon Levoul remain behind. He needs help if he's going to get inside the tomb and ask Vivec's questions. Yes, one of the god monarchs of Morrowind. He's the warrior poet who lives in a grand palace in Vivec City. Lord Vivec sent us on this holy mission to request information from Canon Levoul's ancestor. It breaks my heart that I have failed him.
I can't let Lord Vivec down. Those monsters, it's too dangerous. What am I going to do? Did Canon Valasar send you? Oh, she did, didn't she? That means she made it to Seydanin. Vivec be praised. Will you help me complete my mission? It would be sacrilege if I don't enter my family's tomb and make Lord Vivec's inquiries. As the saints declare, the tribunal always provides. We'll need to be cautious, however. Daedra invaded the tomb. Makes it hard to talk to one's ancestors while monsters try to eat you. I'll also need your help when we reach the summoning chamber. Take this scroll with Lord Vivec's inquiries, while I summon forth my ancestor spirit and concentrate on maintaining the connection. You must ask the questions. He insists we use the exact phrasing. We can go inside when you're ready. I've already lost precious time due to the buoyant armiger's wounds, but I suppose a few more moments won't make the volcano erupt or the moonlit fall from the sky or anything. What else can I tell you, my friend? I'm not quite sure, and it wasn't my place to ask. When your living god gives you a task, you say, "Yes, my lord." The questions seem to involve the time before the tribunal, which I assume is why we must ask them of my long-dead ancestor. A few of my contemporaries can boast of a luminary such as Farina Andrano occupying a prime branch upon their family tree. Lady Farina studied at the feet of Sothasil and was counted among his companions before the tribunal rose to power. Who's Sothasil? It's like asking who are Vivec and Almalexia. They are the tribunal, the living gods of the Dunmer. Sothasil is the architect of time and the binder of oblivion. If you want to know more, we can talk after we've finished. Well, I can tell you why they weren't here the last time I paid my respects. Canon Valasar thinks they're some kind of Daedra, determined to keep us from fulfilling Lord Vivec's will. Until you showed up, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Before we go in there and face those monsters, I want you to know how much I appreciate your aid in this matter. Just don't lose the scroll that contains Lord Vivec's questions. Now come, let's call forth my ancestor. I'll open the tomb door. Follow me, but keep an eye out for those Daedra. Careful. The creatures attacked as soon as we entered the Hall of Remembrance.
I never used to fight this much, until I met you.
This used to be such a peaceful place. I came here as a young acolyte to meditate.
It's all in your head! Keep fighting!
We're nearly there. Then we can summon my ancestor. The summoning chamber. I'll call forth my ancestor, then you can ask Vivek's questions.
Hasn't my rest been disturbed enough by those filthy Daedra? Why do you summon me, descendant?
My Lord Vivek has inquiries that only you can answer, my lady. My companion will present them with your permission.
The warrior poet? Very well. Ask Vivek's questions. Ask the warrior poet's questions, Outlander. Ah, Lord Vivek always had a way with words. Tell him to rest assured. The heart remains safe. I wonder why that concerns him. Ask the remaining questions as my time here is short. An enemy of old, yes, but not the one that Vivek presumes. Sotha Sil imagined multiple scenarios and contemplated endless solutions. He even experimented with his divinity, drawing energy to study before returning it. Loss will come, he foresaw, but not until the collapse of the temple. Now, back to sleep.
Thank you for helping me complete my task. Now, I need to return to Vivek City. Have you been there? It's amazing. Ziggurats rising out of the water, the moonlit hanging in the sky above. You should meet me there so I can introduce you to Lord Vivek. Just between us, I understood neither the questions asked nor the answers received. Not that I expected to. Some things aren't meant for mortal minds. That's another reason for you to come to Vivek City, to help me explain what my ancestors said. Excellent. I just need to make a quick stop in Seydanin to check on my original traveling companions. When you get to Vivek City, head right to the palace and I'll meet you there. I know that Lord Vivek will want to reward you for assisting me. I'll be along shortly. When you get to Vivek City, head directly for Lord Vivek's palace. Once there, I'll make introductions and we can tell the warrior poet everything we've learned. Of course. As I said, the tribunal consists of our three living gods, Vivek, Almalexia, and Sotha Sil. They lead us in spiritual matters and rule over Dunmer society as god monarchs of the Dark Elves. I serve Vivek, but honor the entire tribunal. Unfortunately, no. The Dunmer houses bow to the tribunal, but the savage Ashlanders refuse to acknowledge their divinity. The heretics never allowed themselves to be assimilated into the great houses. Instead, they hold to primitive superstitions.
Praise Vivek!
This is the person who helped me at the tomb, my lord.
Lord Vivek, we don't need the help of this outlander.
Oh hush, Archcanon Tarvis. Outlanders have their usefulness, and this one intrigues me.
As you say. I'll be in my office if you need me.
Step forward, friend of Lavul, and let us speak.
My Lord Vivek wants to meet you. I know the honor might seem overwhelming, but try not to faint when His Holiness talks to you. I speak from experience. I swooned and passed out the first time we met.
Canon Level says you helped him in his mission. As I have written, the one who helps my ally becomes my friend. Despite the Archcanon's concerns, I greet you with sincerity and pose a simple question. Will you assist us further, Outlander? I have ordinators and armigers at my disposal. Vast armies of followers and dedicated priests. What I don't have, however, is a fresh perspective. Will you set aside your personal goals for a time and become the eyes and ears of a god? Good. I need assistance to investigate a strange phenomenon that the Ancestor confirmed may indeed be a problem. We'll start with a simple divination ritual. Archcanon Tarvis can tell you what we need to delve into this mystery. The situation that troubles me has taken a toll on my Archcanon, but he's a faithful servant. Tarvis will do as I say, and I say we need your assistance. Find the Archcanon in his office, and he'll tell you how to proceed. The Daedric Prince. I suppose the same events that concern me might interest Azura, though she could just as easily be the source of these troubles. Red Mountain, strange Daedra, and then there's... well, we'll talk more about that when you return. Levul's ancestor assured me that a source of power remains safe. As for the rest, let the guess ripen in the mind, and only speak when the fruit grows certain. I require more information on these matters. Hence the need for the divination ritual. Find Archcanon Tarvis in his office, and do as he commands. Help the Archcanon, and you help me. Remember the words of my 7th sonnet. Time is neither ally nor enemy. It simply is, and then it has passed. Now, go before it passes you.
Ah, Outlander. Lord Vivek trusts too much to put his faith in one such as you, but who am I to question my god? I suppose he sent you to me so I could put you to work. Did he say which task he wants us to accomplish first? Ah, yes. We do need to perform a ritual to reveal the nature of the phenomenon that vexes Lord Vivek. Now listen closely. I hate to repeat myself. Despite my objections, Vivek believes you were sent to help, so I'll do my best to assist you. Go to the ziggurat that's still under construction and tell the overseer that Lord Vivek requires the blessing stone. Then bring it to me in the palace. You receive a simple errand in the service of Lord Vivek, and countless questions form unbidden in your mind. Very well. Go ahead. Ask your questions. It's not like I'm the busy archcanon of a living god or anything. Ah, the ignorance of outlanders. How refreshing. The blessing stones serve as repositories for small amounts of Lord Vivek's power. They allow his favor to permeate sanctified locations. We need such a stone to power the divination ritual. If you haven't guessed yet, the phenomenon interferes with Lord Vivek's power in unusual ways. It will be safer for everyone if I perform the ritual by using the blessing stone instead of drawing on my lord's personal store of energy. Even if I told you, you wouldn't comprehend it. Lord Vivek's senses eclipse those of mere mortals. Suffice it to say, he feels a disturbance in the flow of energy throughout Vardenfell. He seeks to discover the source of that disturbance. Lord Vivec sees signs and portents everywhere. It's the poet at his core. I tend to be much more pragmatic. Sometimes a volcano is simply a volcano, and not a harbinger of doom. As for the Daedra, I have no idea. Perhaps the summoning got out of hand. Offend me? You give yourself too much credit. No, I feel the same about all Outlanders. This is tribunal business, best handled by tribunal resources. However, I also obey my Lord Vivec, so I will tolerate your involvement and do my best to aid you.
This project has been nothing but one disaster after another. How am I expected to get this ziggurat built on time when things constantly go wrong? Don't mind me. I'm just having one of those days. Our blessing stone? Do you know what happens if we give up our blessing stone? Well, neither do I, but I'm sure it won't put us back on schedule or end our string of disasters. I'm not one to disagree with the Archcanon, but that's a terrible idea. Lord Vivec? Well, why didn't you say so? But I'll need your help before I can turn over the blessing stone. The passage that leads to the consecration chamber collapsed, trapping some of my workers. If you can clear the way, you can borrow the stone. I appreciate the help. Just remember that you're only borrowing the stone. It needs to be back in the consecration chamber before the next shift, or we'll never get this ziggurat constructed in time.
I thought I was gonna die under there. Oh, thanks for saving me.
Thank you. I'll go tell the Overseer what you did for me. Help! Please, someone help me!
I'm fading.
The Outlander returns. I understand there was trouble at the construction site, but you were able to save a few of the workers. Lord Vivec always draws the straightest arrow from the quiver. Praise the tribunal. Did you bring the blessing stone? Stand over there. In Canon Level's absence, you will form the third corner of our ritual triangle. When you're ready, place the blessing stone, and we'll begin the ritual. Hear the words of the warrior poet, and reveal the source of Lord Vivec's distress. Clockwork mage. A Daedric cultist. Something interfered with the ritual, my lord. But we may have learned something. Excuse me while I compare the results to our previous research.
Between the cryptic warnings of the ancestor spirit and the unexpected result of the divination ritual, I fear there may be more astir than I imagined. We solved the greatest mysteries by accident, I suspect. I should write that down. We learn from every action we take. Failure or success, each result teaches us something, at least in the larger sense. To be more specific, no, not as much as I hoped. Images that suggest avenues to investigate, riddles to solve. Let me tell you a secret, Outlander. It concerns a living god, an energy that fades like daylight as dusk spreads across the land. Listen well, and speak not a word. My divine energy, it drains away. Whether from illness or foul malady, I know not. You must travel the land and seek answers on my behalf. But first, gratitude before service, as I have written. So thank you. The ritual confirmed my worst fears. Divine energy flows out of me for no reason that I can discern. I felt the power imbued within my blessing stone get wrenched away as soon as you added it to the ritual. I couldn't stop it. To quote my own words as the warrior poet, no lock exists that the determined thief cannot open. Follow the trail of my missing energy, and try to discover the identity of the enemy Levol's ancestor warned us about. Something drains my energy. Find Archcanon Tarvis in his office, and ask if he gleaned anything useful from the ritual. If not, I know his earlier research indicated new avenues to investigate. Go where he tells you, and learn what you can. My divine energy diminishes with every passing moment, but the ritual confirmed my affliction is not natural. I regret that I could not reveal the full nature of these dire circumstances until your trustworthiness had been demonstrated. Yes, while Archcanon Tarvis has always been cautious about ideas and ideologies that didn't originate within the Tribunal, and recently, that prudence has grown 1,000-fold. He's a faithful servant, however, despite his narrow-mindedness. I've always used my power freely, and without detriment. I create the blessing stones, hold the moonlit above the city, and perform 100 miracles a day to benefit my people. I begin to feel the toll this liberal application of divinity costs me. I care little for my own safety, but my people are another matter. Without my power to stop it, the moonlit will crash into the city and kill hundreds, perhaps thousands of innocents. And that would be just the start of Vardenfell's woes. At first, I barely noticed the loss of energy. But as I continue to grow weaker, the more it feels like an attack against my person. Besides, the Ancestor Spirit confirmed that an ancient enemy was to blame. We just need to determine who, before... Let us not dwell on disasters to come when we have problems enough to deal with in the here and now. Consult with Archcanon Tarvis and discover the source of this attack. Then we can put an end to it and not worry about what might have been. They always chide me about my flagrant displays of divinity, but so far, I am the only one of the living gods whose power is fading. Almalexia hoards her energy and has barricaded her temple against attack. As for Sotha's seal, my brother travels. We have not heard from him for quite some time, but I sense that he remains safe and in possession of his full power. Funny. He always wanted to discover the limits of our divinity. Perhaps I will solve that mystery for him.
I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... No. I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are... difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivek told you? Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the tribunal was incapacitated. It's true. I'm much better at scholarly pursuits than fieldwork. And the ritual wasn't a total failure. It confirmed 3 locations from my earlier studies: Balmora, Aldrin, and Berelzar's tower. I need you to investigate each of these sites. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivek City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivek thinks you're the best one for that job. I hope he's right. I believe the mage seen in the ritual is Berelzar, who works out of an ancient Velothi tower. His experiments radiate energy similar to Vivek's affliction, but they're not a perfect match. Find out what he knows about the transfer of divine energy. House Redoran controls the town and nearby mines. House Halalu also has interests in the region. Rumors of a cult in the area concern me the most. I believe we saw a cultist during the ritual. Make discreet inquiries and see what you can learn. I have no idea. That's why we're sending you. I suggest you start at the inn. Secrets get spilled along with the drinks in such places. The miners may know something as well. I've heard that House Redoran has issued some kind of proclamation. Savage Ashlanders, like the one seen in the vision, use the area as a tribal meeting ground. These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for Vivek. But how they could be involved eludes me. See what you can uncover. I traced tendrils of Vivek's energy to these locations, and the ritual confirmed the connection before it went awry. Just don't discuss Lord Vivek's condition with anyone. We don't want to start a panic. If anything changes here, I'll contact you.
I couldn't help overhear what you and the Archcanon discussed. Good luck out there. The fate of Vardenfell may depend on your actions in service to my Lord Vivek.
Such displeasure and disappointment. Nothing works, even though every calculation is precise. Now an interruption. How infuriating. Wait. Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity. Divine energy. I'll have you know I participated in Lord Sothesseal's 9 analyses of the Exalted Enigmas. But we have more important matters. I'm about to determine the correlation between color and time, and I could use another set of hands. A reciprocal exchange. Interesting, yes. I can see the benefits of such an arrangement. Very well. Just activate the crystals in the proper sequence while I modulate the energy flow. Less chance of an explosion that way. Such a waste repeating words. Activate the crystals in the proper order. It's all about colors, like a rainbow. Make a mistake and reset the mechanism using that lever, unless it explodes. You'd be surprised how often that happens. You activate the crystals. Look for pure light, not muddled. I'll modulate the energy fluctuations, make sure nothing explodes. If color confounds you, look at the shape. Fewest sides to most. The great gear turns, so be quick, be quick. Good help is as rare as the legendary Last Dwemer, but a clockwork is only as strong as its weakest cog. Just work your way up the rainbow. If the color isn't clear, examine the crystals. Start with the simplest shape and end with the most complex. A good start. Keep going. Correct. So far, so good. Clockwork you are. Close, very close. One more to go. Yes, I love it when the gears align. Perfect. Such are the benefits of an extra set of appendages. The energy flows freely and without disruption, allowing the rods and the pistons to align in a most pleasing manner. Thank you. Now, why do you want to know about divine energy? Scent. How intriguing. I was just thinking about my former master, Sir the Seal, and the experiments we conducted. He desperately sought to understand the power he and his companions attained, especially whether or not that power was temporary. Not while I assisted him. He had a tool that he used to drain away minute bits of his own divine energy to store and study. He could extract it and return it as he saw fit. Not sure what became of the tool, but here are my notes from those days. More questions? Well, Lord Sir the Seal attributed curiosity to intellectual superiority. Suppose I should do the same. Ask, and I will attempt to tighten the cogs of your ongoing education as best I can. Odd question. Is a hammer a weapon? A saw? A Dwemer spring spanner? No, it was just a tool. A device crafted by Sir the Seal to aid in his endless experiments. Suppose I could imagine ways to modify the device, but for what reason? Haven't a clue. Tools have a way of wandering off when you don't stay vigilant. Had a guar that used to swallow tools when I wasn't looking. Glowed for a month until the enchantment dissipated and the tool passed. Should have heard the screams. I was his apprentice, but that was years ago. Spent time working in the Clockwork City. That's what I learned about energy transference, Dwemer engineering, mechanical symmetry. Made me the dark elf I am today. But I have a question. Who sent you? The Archcanon, Lord Vivec's High Priest. Suddenly the gears align. I can think of a number of reasons that Alm and V would want to know about C and his tools, but some doors just shouldn't be opened. He's the father of mysteries and the architect of time, one of the Tribunal, the three living gods of the Dark Elves. Creates all sorts of helpful and intriguing devices, like the Clockwork City. I haven't seen my old master in many years. It's a wonder and a miracle. All brass tunnels, glass domes, and giant gears. He was inspired by the work of the Dwemer. But the Clockwork City is pure Sir the Seal. He made it to forge the future and reshape the world. I learned a lot there.
Please, this one needs to get out of here. Those cultists, they're insane.
All right, but keep your voice down. I'll be ready to leave soon enough. In the meantime, if anyone asks, you're just here to haul cargo.
What? Who? This one is just here to haul cargo. Cultists? This one said nothing about cultists. Perhaps you are thinking of another Khajiit. Look, Renaku just wants to leave all these crazy dark elves behind and find a safer mine to work in. The Shulk ore mine is cursed. No one likes a gwar licker, you clawless kitten! It happened a few days back. Weird cultists just barged in and took over the mine. This one managed to get away, but the crew chief and some of the others are still out there. Happy now, fish breath?
Ashlanders once respected each other, helped one another. You'd think these were house wolves or tribunal dogs, the way they treated me. Speaking of the tribunal, you have the smell of dog about you. I wonder why that is. Lord Vivec, is it? And I thought all the tribunal cared about was building monuments to their own greatness. Nice to see that one of them cares about what's going on beyond their borders. Well, perhaps we can aid each other this day, Outlander. Ashlanders are nomads, but we gather at sacred sites to trade, confer, and pay homage to the past. Aldrin is such a place. That's why Chodala invited the Red Exiles here. But these outcasts won't let me into their camp. I need to find my brother. My brother, Chodala, is the Ashkan of our tribe, and I am his ambassador. I act as a go-between among the tribes. Chodala wants to unite the Dunmer and calmly end the era of the bickering houses. He hopes to convince the tribes to follow his lead. Head into the Red Exiles camp and find my brother. Otherwise, see if you can find out what he was doing in there and where he's gone. Be wary of the outcasts. As you saw, they won't hesitate to attack without reason or provocation. No, just our tribe, the Urshilaku, though he's respected by most of the other Ashlanders for his wisdom and strength of will. He does hope to unite the tribes in a common cause, however. That's one of the reasons we've gathered here at Aldrin. My brother and I have always worked to help our people, and improve the Ashlander way of life. He used to believe that peaceful negotiation was the best path to accomplish this. Recently, however, things have become different. He's almost like... No, that's not something I'm ready to talk about with an outsider. Perhaps after you prove your trustworthiness and willingness to help us, then we can discuss my brother in more detail. Perhaps. That's not our goal, but the tribes will defend themselves if necessary. No, we hope to present a united front and show the houses the folly of the path they've embarked upon. Turning away from our forefathers and god ancestors has made them weak. The Red Exiles, they're violent, dangerous Ashlanders who were banished from their tribes and joined together to create their own clan. Chodala invited them to the gathering and went into their camp to talk, but he's been gone too long. I'm worried. As you saw, hostility is second nature to the Red Exiles. We're here to negotiate, but they're no better than thieves and murderers. If they spot you in their camp, you'll need to defend yourself. It's unfortunate, but they'll leave you no choice. You seem to have survived your visit to the Red Exiles camp. Did you find my brother? Interesting. I never suspected that the outcasts were disciplined enough to keep records such as this. Oh no. I can't believe my brother would be so... brazen. It means that Chodala really has changed. With his newfound powers and rising ambitions, I fear what he plans for the tribes. I suppose you have a right to know what I'm talking about. Take this. I found it among my brother's possessions. Chodala discovered new power out in the wilderness, and it changed his view of the world. He writes about it in that document. Now he believes he's a Nerevarine, and incites the tribes while I try to keep them all from doing anything rash. You don't know? I thought... No, you're not an Ashlander, and the House Elves rarely talk about such things. Long ago, there was a hero named Nerevar. He fought alongside the Tribunal, before they claimed to be gods, until they betrayed him. So our legends say. Nerevar united the Kaima and forged an alliance with the Dwemer. He died at the Battle of Red Mountain. We believe the Tribunal hastened his demise, despite Vivek's claims to the contrary. The Nerevarine is a promise and a prophecy. We believe that, through the power of Azura, Nerevar will return to unite all Dunmer, House and Ashlander alike, and make Morrowind great again. The returned Nerevar will be known as the Nerevarine. While the prophecy of the Nerevarine can be interpreted as the end of the Tribunal, I have always seen it as a prediction of hope and peace. Chodala and some Ashlanders, such as the Red Exiles, favor war. That's not the Nerevarine I believe in. He uses an Ashkon's words to plant dark ideas in his followers. Ideas that speak of false gods, lost traditions, and the need for a cleansing war. His words become more forceful every day, but I hope to dissuade him from this violent course. All I know is that his new power frightens me. Chodala returned from a sojourn in the wilderness more vibrant, more commanding. He's always been strong, but now he's fearless, practically invincible, and swifter than the fastest Ashlander scout. Chodala says his new abilities strengthen his claim as the Nerevarine. I think it's the staff he carries. He had it when he returned, and now it's always at his side. I know it's unreasonable, but I hate that staff. He calls it Sunara.
You shouldn't be here. Didn't you read the House Redarin proclamation? I wouldn't be here myself, but some of my miners are still in there. Our mine was invaded by violent cultists. They showed up and just took the place over. My people are trapped. I'm no expert, but it looked like the cultists were preparing to conduct a ritual before the Ashlander interrupted them. Probably because I heard one of them say, "With this ritual we'll call forth a mystical weapon and attain the power of a god," or something along those lines. Look, I was just trying to get me and my miners out of there when the Ashlander showed up. Well, I never actually saw an Ashlander, but I heard a cultist yell, "Ashlander thief! That's our mystical weapon!" That's not an exact quote, but you get the idea. I don't know what happened after that. I was kind of busy trying not to die. It used to be an ore mine, and we hope it will be again. My crew was inside preparing to start up mining operations when the cultists attacked. The way things are going, we might just have to turn the place into another Kwama egg mine. Really? That's awfully brave of you. If you see any of my miners, tell them to get their arses out here. I'll wait as long as I can. Or until I hear screaming. Then I'll go to Balmora and try to find some help. Good luck in there.
Get back, you fetcher!
More thieves! Stop them!
Did you find what you were looking for in the mine? Of course. I perfectly understand. I think I'll wait a little longer and see if any of my miners were able to escape from the cultists. Good luck with your mission, whatever it is.
Outlander, over here! This requires a considerable amount of effort, so just listen. We have a problem here. Return to my office immediately. At last. Did you see what's happening outside? Red Mountain rumbles louder and more frequently. The sky grows dark, and worst of all, the people are beginning to notice. Soon I'll have to muster the Ordinators to keep them from the palace doors. In part, Lord Vivec is not well. I won't allow his followers to see him in this state. He continues to lose energy, and it's becoming difficult for him to maintain the realm in his usual fashion. Now, what did your investigations uncover? I'll review these documents and present your findings to Lord Vivec. I was against bringing you into this investigation, but I was wrong. Thank you for aiding us. You should go see Lord Vivec now. He's been asking about you. I'll be along shortly. Very well. Tell me what you learned at each of the locations, and let's see what conclusions we can come to. Barrelzal faithfully served Sotha Sil. He's as loyal to the Tribunal as I am. He would never intentionally harm Lord Vivec. But that tool he mentioned. Perhaps one of the priests Vivec sent away could search the temple archives for more information. Lord Vivec doesn't want his followers to see him in such a weakened state. Only you, Canon Levuel, and myself are permitted into his palace now. Speaking of the palace, Lord Vivec wants to see you when we're done here. So your notes say, and this Saren assisted you. Interesting. Most Ashlanders want nothing to do with the Tribunal. Even so, they rarely become aggressive. I'd say this Chodala bears watching. If we can spare it, I'll send an armiger to Aldrin. Interesting theory. Perhaps Chodala's staff can steal Vivec's energy. I have a hard time imagining how an Ashlander could accomplish such a feat. Lord Vivec said the draining has grown more intense since you left. It doesn't look well. From what you discovered, I dare say there may be a correlation between the narcotic relic and the tool Barrelzal mentioned. And it seems the Ashlander thieves are connected to Chodala. Your evidence points to a clear conclusion. So it appears. Lord Vivec's doing his best not to complain, but I can see how much the draining of his energy has cost him. Just seeing you again should improve his mood considerably. And the progress you made with your investigations, outstanding.
My lord, please let me send for aid. Perhaps one of the healers can help you.
Pain is best tolerated in private. As I have written in the 37th ballad.
There must be something I can do.
You can call the Archcanon. He should hear the news our friend brings us. The river drains into the sea as my divinity flows out of me. Needs some work. As you can see, I continue to lose energy, and it has made me somewhat agitated. Have you made any progress toward discovering the source of my discomfort? An Ashlander? That seems unlikely. but I trust your instincts. We need to find out more about this Chodala and the ancient enemy that aids him. Take this. Another token of my appreciation. And look, here comes the Archcanon now.
My lord, the Outlander may have actually discovered something.
When a god knows loss, mortals suffer. As is often the case, dark thoughts form the most poignant phrases. I must concentrate, lest the moonlit plunge or some other disaster befalls us. Talk to the Archcanon. See how he thinks we should proceed.
After further examination of the documents you brought back, I have to agree with your assessment. The Ashlander Chodala has somehow siphoned divine energy away from Lord Vivek. Not exactly. But now that we know that the affliction isn't natural, we can work toward a solution, one that probably involves Chodala's staff. How the Ashlander got his hands on Sothasil's tool and turned it into a weapon is beyond me, though. Eventually, but we need to be cautious. If Chodala is as respected as you say, attacking him would start a war we can't afford to partake in. Go to Aldrin and talk to his sister, Saren. I don't trust her either, but she worked with you before. Get to Aldrin and locate Saren. She needs to tell us more about Chodala and then help us acquire his staff. Without it, we can't restore Vivek. Meanwhile, I need to placate the populace. The people grow concerned over Vivek's continuing isolation. Didn't we cover this? Let me refresh your memory. Lord Vivek suffers stoically as his divine energy drains away. Neither my administrations nor his defenses have been sufficient to plug the hole, so we've isolated him to keep panic to a minimum. If we knew for certain, we wouldn't be sending you to make a deal with a heretical Ashlander, now would we? Chodala must have something to do with Vivek's energy loss, but the how and why remain a mystery. That's why I must examine that staff. Everything you uncovered suggests the staff and Sothasil's missing tool are one and the same, and it's obviously connected to Chodala's newfound powers. Bring it back here so I can study it. The solution resides in the staff. I'm sure of it. Experience, Outlander. Experience. I have seen the Dunmer rage against the gods at the least provocation. When they realize that Vivek is ill, that his powers are failing, they'll weep and gnash their teeth like frightened children. The people don't handle the infirmities of their deities very well, especially when those infirmities could foreshadow Red Mountain's eruption or portend the moonlets fall from the sky. Once such fear ignites, it spreads like wildfire. They try not to think about them at all. The Ashlanders are savages. They refuse to acknowledge the supremacy of Lord Vivek and the Tribunal, instead putting their faith in the despicable Daedra. They're heretics, pure and simple. The Ashlanders hold to superstitions the way Quama protect their eggs. If they really considered Chodala to be the Nerevarin, then any action you take against him will enrage the tribes. Talk to Saren and see if she can suggest an alternative course.
An Ashlander? Could a heathen actually threaten one of the Tribunal? Oh, such a thought makes my stomach hurt.
You couldn't free those Imperial soldiers from White Rose. They're the
Outlander,
enemy.
quickly! This way! I've been thinking about my brother's claim that he's the Nerevarin since we last spoke. No matter how I try, the word tastes false on my tongue. And now I fear he's about to convince the wise woman that his quest for power will benefit the tribes. My brother is respected and revered. He has allies in all of the tribes, not to mention his personal Red Exiles. We have to proceed with caution. Respect the Ashlander customs and traditions. Anything else will lead to violence and bloodshed. We talked to my brother. Tried to convince him this isn't the way. Barring that, we make sure the wise woman doesn't get drawn into his madness. Whatever Chodola says or does, don't attack him. We don't need a war between the houses and the Ashlanders. The wise woman. I was hoping she'd be here.
You're too late, dear sister. Despite your protestations, the wise woman has gone to the Cave of the Incarnate to confirm my claim.
Brother, do you really want to pursue this dangerous course?
There was a time when you gave me your unconditional support, Seren. I miss those days.
My brother Chodola's about to do something foolish and dangerous. But by dusk and dawn, Azura put you and I on the same path for a purpose. I just hope we have enough time. He's about to claim the title of the Nerevarine and try to unite the Ashlander tribes gathered here. He already convinced the Red Exiles to support him. He's using them to intimidate the other tribes. If he persuaded the Wise Woman to his cause... Wise Woman Dovrasi, the most respected counselor and spirit guide this side of Red Mountain. She went to the Cavern of the Incarnate to meditate on Chodola's claim. If she confirms my brother's assertion, the tribes will follow wherever he leads. Agreed, but I dare not leave Chodola alone with the tribes. I feel the hand of Azura in all this. Go to the Cavern of the Incarnate and talk to the Wise Woman. I'll stay here and try to keep things under control until you return. The cavern's to the northeast of Aldrin, on the other side of the mountain. Hopefully, the rumbling and lava won't slow you down too much. Get to the cavern and talk to the Wise Woman. If she accepts Chodola's claim about the Nerevarine... My brother isn't the first to believe he's Nerevar returned. All of the previous failed incarnates rest within the cavern. A statue of Azura watches over them as they await the arrival of the true Nerevarine. Azura proclaimed that someday, Indorel Nerevar, a hero from our ancient past, would return to unite the Dark Elves and right the wrongs of Nirn. We call the returned incarnate the Nerevarine. My brother Chodola believes that he's Nerevar reborn. When Chodola became a Gulakan, a champion of our people, I supported him. When he stepped forward as Ashkan, leader of our tribe, I was at his side. But this new claim, it comes with strange powers and talk of war. I can't support those things.
She won't refuse my claim. Just in case, make sure the Red Exiles are ready.
Your word is law, Nerevarine.
You helped my sister. Thank you for that. But you don't need to worry about the Red Exiles anymore. They're under my control now. As for everything else, that's Ashlander business. There's no place for an Outlander here. Plotting? No, I'm confident that the false god will fall. Azura has proclaimed this, and I know it to be true. The Tribunal betrayed our hero and turned away from our religion. And they call us heretics. Bah! How overly simplistic the world must be to your eyes, Outlander. I am Nerevar reborn. I will lead my people to power and glory. The wise woman knows this. She will proclaim it when she returns. And no tribunal lapdogs can change that. My sister is too naive and idealistic for her own good. Look at the power I wield. Feel the conviction in my words. While the House Elves squabble and fight to carve up our land, the Nerevarine will step forth to end their tyranny once and for all.
Azura is my shield, you foul creatures.
Alright, don't cry for Mummy.
Vex there for some competition.
Thank you for aiding me. But I sense you came for a different purpose. Let's talk inside the camp. An outlander? Surely there must be another way. No, my lady, of course not. I'll do as you ask. Come here, outlander. We must talk. It feels strange to talk to an outlander in such a sacred place, but the Queen of the Night Sky insists. I need to render judgment on an important claim, and she says you can help me reach the correct decision. Words of truth from the mouth of an outlander. Remarkable. The Red Exiles and a few others believe that Chodala is the Nerevarine. He's convinced them, but not me. I came here to consider my options. I fear a bloodbath if I oppose his claim. Perhaps, but I must remain impartial. If someone else reveals the flaws in Chodala's claims by comparing him to the failed incarnates, that might do the trick. We thought the incarnates were possessed by the spirit of Nerevar, but each had a critical flaw that made them destined to fail to fulfill the prophecy. Their spirits reside here. Yes, you should speak to the incarnates. I see Azura's wisdom now. Take this pouch of blessed grave dust. Sprinkle a pinch upon the bones of the incarnates to call forth their spirits. Return to Aldrin after you have learned all you can. Perhaps we can curb Chodala's ambitions before they lead us to war. We need knowledge to defeat Chodala, Outlander. Listen well to what the failed incarnates have to say. Once I was the hope of my people, but then my claim was proven false. Now I wait, and I hope for the Nerevarines' return. State your question, Outlander, and I shall do as Azura urges. To fulfill the prophecy, I followed a path of blood and war. In the end, my path became a road that led nowhere, and I was cast down from my lofty spot. Take my scroll, and help the wise woman understand the futility of a senseless war.
The
Nerevarin remains a promise unfulfilled, and I am as guilty of prideful posturing as every other failed incarnate that occupies this hall. Ask your question and let's be done with this, Outlander. The Nerevarin must listen as well as proclaim. I refuse to accept wise counsel, which led to the doom of my tribe and the end of my quest to embody the spirit of Nerevar. Take my scroll and remind the wise woman that wisdom ignored is ignorance.
We are the failed incarnates, the Ashlanders who proudly proclaimed themselves to be the Nerevarin, but were found wanting. The Lady of Dawn and Dusk urged us to cooperate. So ask your question, Outlander. Take my scroll and help the wise woman see the lie of unbridled power. I thought myself the reborn Nerevar, for I was the strongest, most powerful warrior in all the land. But power alone won't save my people. In the end, it couldn't even save me.
Mortal, let us speak. I foresaw your usefulness before you even set foot in Vardenfell. Now comes a test that will challenge your ability to separate truth from lies. You must convince the tribes that Chodola is not the Nerevarin. Doversee's wisdom outshines most other mortals. She recognizes the futility of Chodola's claim. If she rebuffs him, however, the tribes will turn on each other, and blood will flow. The staff, Sunra, it makes Chodola confident, reckless. Your instincts serve you well. Chodola's path took a dark turn. However, my sight clouds when I look too closely. Sothasil built Sunra, but he did not create it with this vile purpose in mind. You must act on my behalf and Vivek's. Then go. Return to Aldrun and help the wise woman reveal the falsehood of Chodola's claim. And let Saren assist you. She is my champion and a trusted friend of all Ashlanders. Use what the Incarnate shared with you. Their failures point the way toward Chodola's downfall. But beware Chodola's power. He may not be the Nerevarin, but some greater agency has lent strength to his conviction. Due to an ancient pact, I am not permitted to interfere in the affairs of Nirn. Even this casual discussion pushes the boundaries of that agreement. Instead, I must work through trusted agents, such as yourself and Saren. Helping that arrogant imposter? Whatever gave you the idea that I was helping that murderer? Vardenfell must stand. Everything I do in this regard serves that single goal. Best that you remember that, mortal.
Thank the moon and star. You've returned. The wise woman returned from the Cavern of the Incarnate and went right into Scar to meet with the tribes. Chodal is in there too, about to be named the Nerevarine. Tell me you came back with something to stop my brother's rise to power. Ah, of course. Use the tales of the failed incarnates to counter Chodal's arguments. That's brilliant. Well, except for one problem. An Outlander has no status in the Council. The Ashlanders won't listen to a word you say. Someone else has to present the arguments. Someone they trust. I suppose that means I have to challenge my brother. With your help, of course. You spoke to the Incarnates, not me. I'm familiar with their stories, but I'll need you to help me choose the appropriate argument to counter each of Chodala's claims. I hate opposing my brother in this. I just don't see another way. Incarnate Runso was strong and powerful. He thought that by strength alone, he could unite the Ashlanders. He failed. When Chodala proclaims his power, that's when we'll refer to this scroll's sad tale. Incarnate Ajiri was a champion of my people. She defended us against great threats. But when she grew to love war for war's sake, she proved she wasn't the Nerevarine. When Chodala proclaims that war is the answer, hand me this scroll. Incarnate Darnot thought his way was the best way. He rejected the counsel of the Wise Women and the Ashkans, something Nerevar would never do. When Chodala proclaims he knows better than anyone, we'll use this scroll. Incarnate Runso was strong and powerful. He thought that by strength alone, he could unite the Ashlanders. He failed. When Chodala proclaims his power, that's when we'll refer to this scroll. Incarnate Ajiri was a champion of my people. She defended us against great threats. But when she grew to love war for war's sake, she proved she wasn't the Nerevarine. Meet me inside.
Must we continue this farce? It's obvious that I'm the Nerevarine.
Someone has stepped forward to challenge your claim, Chodala.
Seren, I'm disappointed in you, dear sister.
Enough. I shall hear your arguments and render my decision.
Even the Outlander can see that I'm the most powerful Ashkan. My strength alone proves that I am the Nerevarine.
Chodala puts forth his great strength as proof of his claim. Give me the scroll that discounts such a trait for the Nerevarine. Yes, that's a sound argument. Incarnate, appear!
As a warrior and as an Ashkan, I was the most powerful of my age. But for all my strength, I failed my people. Don't follow my example.
The faithless houses dare to threaten our land, but we shall meet them in battle, and I will lead us to victory.
This is more nerve-wracking than I anticipated. Which scroll do you recommend to counter this argument? That makes sense. I'll try that. Incarnate, appear!
I thought the path to the Nerevarine was a path of blood and battle, but my love of war was my undoing. War is not the way.
These failed incarnates prove nothing! I need no counsel but my own, as befits my status as the Nerevarine.
I think it's working. One more strong assertion, and that should do it. Of course. Let's see what happens. Incarnate, appear!
I refuse to accept the counsel of the wise women and the Ashkans. I thought I knew best, but I knew nothing. That is not the way of the Nerevarine.
Seren and the Outlander, their arguments have merit. Chodala, we deny your claim. You are not the Nerevarine.
This proves nothing! Look how the staff protects me! I am the Nerevarine! Red Exiles, slay me!
Brother, no!
For the Nerevarine!
The buoyant armigers.
Go to my hut and get my
become.
sack. Now, right away, wise woman.
Mortal, I would have words with you. Chodala has been revealed as a failed Nerevarine, but that hasn't dissuaded him from his reckless course of action. As long as he wields the staff, he shall be unstoppable. Time is against you, mortal. Even now, Vivek, that pompous usurper, grows increasingly weaker. As much as I deplore him, Vivek cannot fall to Chodala's vile magic. There's another power at work here. One I can't quite put my finger on. Return to Vivek City. Do what you can to aid Vivek, and pay heed to my faithful vessel, Seren. I name her Champion of the Moon and Star. She will play a pivotal role in ending her brother's march toward godhood, if she survives.
That was exhilarating. That was glorious. Lady Azura's presence filled me with such wonder. She actually spoke through me. I heard everything she said, and I felt her sense of urgency. You need to return to Vivek City immediately. And help you I shall. Return to Vivek City, while I track down my brother and his damnable staff. With the Ashlanders against him, he won't have many options. After I locate him, I'll meet you, and we can find a way to break through Chodala's defenses.
You're back. It's Lord Vivek. He just collapsed. The more he weakens, the closer the moonlit slides toward the city, and the more Red Mountain churns with fire and ash. I hope you brought good news. Vivek knows we could use some.
As a god weakens, so too does his city suffer. I know my people grow fearful. Even the Archcanon is distressed. But the energy that remains to me holds the moonlit in the sky, at least for now. So what news does my eyes and ears bring to me? How this upstart Ashlander learned to attune Sotha Seal's tool confounds my understanding. And he dares use my power? Still, your help is appreciated. Every strike and parry takes us one step closer to ending this threat and restoring my vitality.
Due to Lord Vivek's condition, it falls upon us to find a solution.
Consult with the Archcanon to decide our next course of action. This Ashlander thief must be dealt with before my condition dooms my people. Now leave me. If my concentration wavers, Vardenfell is doomed.
Lord Vivek must conserve his remaining energy, so we need to solve this problem on our own. It all comes back to Chodala. That damned Ashlander's draining the warrior poet's power. We need to stop him and get that damned staff. How should I know? That's not a skill the Tribunal teaches. Return to Barrelzar's tower and get Sotha Seal's former apprentice to come up with some kind of countermeasure. I'm sure he knows more than he's told you. I do have one concern, though. You see right through me, Outlander. I have more worries than a Kwama queen has eggs. I'm talking about Chodala's sister. Seren claims to want to help, to want peace, but I don't trust her. Seek out Barrelzar, but be wary of the Ashlander's sister. We need to stop Chodala, and to do that, we need to find a way to overcome the device he's wielding. Find Barrelzar and make sure that crazy mage provides you with something we can use to save Lord Vivek. Is the bull sure it can bed the Betty? No. But by all accounts, we'll be better off with Sunara in our hands and away from Chodala. That won't be possible, however, as long as the Ashlander remains impervious to every attack. The female Ashlander? Well, if that wasn't enough of a reason, remember that she's also Chodala's sister. Blood sings to blood, as the warrior poet so elegantly put it. Be wary of that one, Outlander. She'll stab you in the back, mark my words. Vivek loves this land, and the land loves him in return. He's always had a special bond with Vardenfell. Is it so hard to believe that Red Mountain reflects his suffering? Beyond that, there's also Bardao, the moonlit that floats above us. Lord Vivek's intervention stopped the moonlit from crashing into the city. He holds it above us by strength of will. But as he weakens, so too does the power that keeps the rock afloat. If Vivek's energy wanes further, it would spell disaster.
Barrelzar will figure something out. He's brilliant and quite capable, despite his bizarre behavior. Of course, Outlander. Anything to assist you in your sacred mission. A mysterious force assaults Lord Vivek, stealing his energy and putting all of Vardenfell in terrible danger. You agreed to help put an end to this attack. Not precisely. Your investigations on Vivek's behalf point to the Ashlander Chodala as the likely suspect. He claims to be the Neraverian and wields Sotha Seal's tool. It's a staff Chodala calls Sunara, and we think it's the source of his power. No, I'm sure that was never the intention of the Father of Mysteries. Chodal somehow modified the tool to turn it into a weapon. Whatever he's doing to steal Vivek's divine energy, he seems to be able to draw on some of the warrior poet's power.
Hurry, please! I have a natural aversion to Daedra.
I hope you're watching.
So hard to concentrate and maintain schedules when interruptions constantly occur. Don't they know the Great Gear never pauses in its rotations? So that was you up there. I appreciate the assistance. Daedric entities can be very unpredictable. Logic has very little place in the behavior of Daedra, my hopeful associate. Studying the fabric of reality does tend to attract unwanted attention. But these creatures appeared just before you entered my tower. I wonder, why have you returned? Ah, a modification of my master's old experiments, turning a simple tool into a dangerous weapon. Ingenious! Evil, yes, but also quite brilliant. A tonal inverter should counter it. Uses sound waves to temporarily disrupt the flow of energy. No, of course not. I just invented it. I need proper components to build such a device. My hirelings scour the land for materials all the time. Here's a list. Head out the back door and ask them to direct you to these common dwarven components. Hirelings? Yes, they worked for me, before they quit, ungrateful netches. Still, I paid them well before the pistons slipped their alignments. They should know where to find the components. Last I heard, Snorfen and the others were in Morrowind. The situation is wound dangerously tight, but I believe the gears revolve around you. Once you leave, I should be perfectly safe. Or at least as safe as I ever am in the midst of all these experiments. You, however, stay vigilant, my friend. I could, but I won't pour 5-year-old Flynn into a cracked decanter. No offense. Suffice it to say, they're fairly common as far as Dwemer components go. Use the list and talk to my former hirelings. I'll build the device the moment you return.
I feel like such a puny snowback, hiding here in Morrowind. But you don't want to hear about my troubles. What can this broken Nord do for you? Berylzar. He's the reason I'm a shattered man, doomed to become a cowering sheep like the rest of these pilgrims. All right, let me see that. Arkanthung Stordoms. You can find a Sonance generator there, after you deal with the steam trap. The cursed contraption. I almost had it figured out when a ghost floated up to me. No problem, I think. But then it enters a Centurion. Ghost machines. No sane Nord can fight ghost machines. I dropped my notes and ran as fast as I could. Not just ghosts. Ghosts that possess dwarven machines. I'm through working for that crazy old mage and his clockwork monstrosities. But if you want to get past the steam trap, find my notes and follow the directions.
If you're another pilgrim looking for charity, I suggest you move along. I have neither the time to waste nor the gold to spare. I'm currently between employment, and my own funds have become dangerously depleted. Let me see that. What's that crazy mage need this time? I suppose you could find a manual clockwork shaft in the Nechu-left ruins. But I'd avoid that place if I were you. If the roof doesn't collapse, the constructs will rip you apart. If you insist. Deep in the ruins churns a big machine. When I was there, it sputtered and vibrated, collapsing parts of the ceiling. Lava and rock fell everywhere. You need to get past that and some nasty constructs to retrieve the item. That mage is a menace. Oh, he always paid well, but the places he asked me to go, each was more dangerous than the last. And if I had to hear about the Great Gear one more time... For my own health and sanity, I had to break ties with Barrelzar.
Damned vampires. I'll find a way to make them pay for what they did to my brother. I swear it on the tribunal and any Daedra willing enough to listen. What do you want? Can't you leave a person to her anger and her grief? He did he? Let me see that list. Well, the crazy old mage always said there were no coincidences. The inversion conduit. I saw one in Galome Deus, right before I barely escaped from those damned vampires. Eager to become cattle for the Bloodsuckers? The Burn clan killed my brother. Damn their eyes! The item you seek was in the manufactory, but you'll need a control rod to get a dwarven spider to unlock it for you. Because the mage wanted to send me to the far side of Vardenfell, and I need to remain here. I'm not going anywhere until I make the Burn clan pay for what it did to my brother. If you can kill some of the bastards, that'll be a start.
The pilgrims visiting the sites sacred to our...
Spider won't give me its treasure, dear brother.
Allow me, my sister. This should open a visual construct like a ripe fruit.
don't like your odds.
I remember. The components for the tonal inverter. Were you able to acquire them? Impressive. I thought I'd never see you again. That's what usually happens when I employ hirelings to acquire rare and exotic items from dangerous locations. Well, the great gear doesn't dawdle, neither do I. Hand them over and I'll get to work. One tonal inverter coming up. Connect this, tighten the spring, don't explode. Almost done. There. Do you like it, my latest creation? I call it the tonal inverter. Did I mention that already? No matter. It should counteract Sotha Seal's modified staff. At least, momentarily. I assume you know how to use this, correct? Of course you don't. I just invented it. Honestly. You won't use it anyway, not if you plan to fight the one who wields Sotha Seal's staff. Almost impossible to operate the tonal inverter while also engaged in battle. It's too cumbersome. The Sunara, the Blessed Staff? I suppose the name fits, sort of. You'll need someone to assist you, someone you trust. Oh, not me. Too busy, too fragile. But using the tonal inverter is definitely a two-person activity. Easy as scrib jelly pie. One person operates the controls to generate the sound waves. When it reaches the proper pitch, you activate the inverter and discharge its energy to disrupt Sunara's power. Temporarily. Here, I wrote you instructions.
Your presence defiles this city, Ashlander. How dare you demand to see our god?
I'm here to help. If you won't listen to me, listen to the Outlander.
Thank the three. The Outlander has returned. Was Barrowzar able to help us? Pay no attention to this Ashlander. She's been blathering on about Lord Vivek's condition and how she can help, but I'm certain it's a trick of some sort. I was just about to have her thrown out of the city, or possibly tossed to the slaughterfish. I know who she is. I still don't trust her, and I refuse to let her anywhere near Lord Vivek. Who knows what an Ashlander would do while the warrior poet is in such a fragile state? A tonal what now? Well, since I can't go with you, but with Lord Vivek requiring my undivided attention, I suppose we'll have to let the Ashlander assist you. Very well. Take her and defeat Chodala. Then bring me a staff so we can restore Vivek.
If that old idiot is what passes for a tribunal leader, it's no wonder the houses are in such disarray. No time to dwell on that, though. I found my brother, and it's worse than I feared. Chodala's quest for power has led him down a dark path. Chodala and his most loyal followers have taken refuge in a ruin called Kaushtarari. It's an ancient shrine devoted to the Daedric Prince Malakath. I think my brother plans to ask the God of Curses to help him. It will allow us to stop Chodala? Then of course I'll help you. Since the Tribunal's dogs took my weapons, I'll need to replace them. Meet me at the ruins when you're ready. Here we are, on the Furious One's bloody doorstep, preparing to enter a Daedric ruin to try to stop my brother's march toward power. I hope that device you mentioned really can counter the invulnerability granted by the staff, Sunara. Well, that's larger than I expected, but it looks simple enough to operate. I suppose it's better that I work the device. I'm not sure I'm capable of attacking Chodola. He's still my brother, no matter how dangerous his beliefs have become. I'll help you counter the effects of Sunara. Maybe once we neutralize it, Chodola will listen to reason. I know that's probably just wishful thinking. I'll settle for finding out who tempted Chodola with that damn staff. Go ahead. Ask your questions. Then head into the ruins. I'll be right behind you. The tribes rejected him. Azura set her face against him. Now Chodola's seeking aid wherever he can find it. That makes him more desperate than I imagined, and more dangerous. Why he decided to solicit Malakath, the god of curses, I have no idea. Malakath's an evil god, the Daedric prince of curses and broken promises. Perhaps that's why Chodola has sought him out. The prophecy of the Nerevarine was Chodola's to fulfill before it was wrenched away from him. Perhaps, but I don't think so. The Oathbreaker prefers a more direct approach. He isn't one to hide behind convoluted schemes and plots. Still, if Malakath agrees to support my brother, we'll have one more problem to deal with. It's true I have no love of the Tribunal. I also have no stomach for a war between my people and the Great Houses. Too much blood would be spilled to no good end. Even Azura proclaims that my brother must be stopped. I'll help you in any way I can. Over there! Those Red Exiles. They've been slaughtered.
Chodola? He's gone mad. Sought to make a deal with a Daedric prince. Chodola appealed to Malakath, but the god of curses rebuked him. Killed us all. Said Chodola already served another. He went deeper into the ruins. Into Malakath's shrine.
These creatures, they don't belong to Malakath. Another prince's power is at work here. Chodola, brother, stop this madness!
You bring this outlander to kill me, sister? You can't harm me! I have a powerful patron on my side!
The staff protects him. You can't hurt him until we use the tonal inverter. I need a moment to get this working.
What is that? No matter. You are no longer worth my time.
Scarfin! They serve the Prince of Bargains. Keep them busy while I finish this. The tonal inverter is ready. Stand in the field and focus the wave.
My protective shield! What have you done? I'll destroy all of you for this!
did it have to come to this? Azura, we've dealt with the false Nerevarine, just as you commanded. That was harder than I expected. Chodala was so angry, so full of rage, not like himself at all. Still, I can't believe I helped kill my own brother. I know that! It was either Chodala or the lives of hundreds of Dunmer. All because he convinced himself he was the Nerevarine. Or someone convinced him. Either way, my brother is dead, and the Cavern of the Incarnate has another resident. Take Sunara, and I'll meet you back in Vivec City. Your Archcanon made it quite clear that the staff was the key to saving Vivec. I need to take care of my brother's remains. Then we'll be done here.
Oh, this is terrible. Lord Vivec collapsed. Tell me, Outlander, were you able to defeat Chodala? Have you brought me a staff? I'm afraid Lord Vivec may not last much longer. And just in time. According to my calculations, with every use of Sunara, Chodala drained more energy from Lord Vivec. It almost killed him. We can use this staff to save Vivec. Just plant it in the floor, and the power will return to him.
It's working just as I expected.
What are you doing? It's killing him!
What did you expect? That's the point of all this, after all.
I've powered up the tonal inverter. Activate the wave!
Barbas. Pet hound of the Prince of Bargains. I should have known. Talk to the Ashlander while I compose myself.
I knew something was wrong as soon as I approached the palace. I could feel it in my bones. I was on my way here when Azura showed me a vision. I saw Sunara killing Vivec. Even without Chodala, that damn staff is dangerous. I don't think that thing was ever the Archcanon. It called itself Barbas. As an Ashlander, I'm more familiar with Daedric lore than most of the elves of the Great Houses. Beyond that, I've made a study of the most prominent Daedric princes. Because Barbas is a loyal servant of the Daedric prince, Clavicus Vile. I'm not an expert on the Prince of Bargains, but it seems to me that this was all part of some grand plan. Perhaps Vivec can explain things better than I can.
Azura's champion is correct. That was Barbas, faithful hound of Clavicus Vile, a shapeshifter. He killed the Archcanon, took his place. Chodala sought the seal's device, impersonating Tarvas. It was all part of some elaborate plan. That was simply a consequence. We needed tribunal energy to locate the Clockwork City. I was the easiest target. If Barbas enters Sotha Seal's city, disaster will follow. I appreciate your help, but I must conserve what remains of my energy.
Oh, by the three, Lord Vivec looks terrible. Where's Archcanon Tarvus? He always seems to know what to do in situations like this. Barbas? The Daedric Hound? Wait, I don't understand any of this. But if Lord Vivec's energy has been depleted, then the Moonlit... Red Mountain... My gods! All of Vardenfell's in danger! If only there was a way to give Lord Vivec some energy... Wait! That's it! A blessing stone! Find the Overseer and retrieve another stone from the construction site. Oh, please, hurry. I've never seen Lord Vivec in such a desperate state. I expect the Overseer's near the unfinished cantons, watching out for looters. When people panic, they're capable of anything. And with all the chaos going on outside, the Overseer closed the construction site. Get her key and bring back a stone. A few moments ago, Red Mountain erupted and the moonlit above the city dropped dangerously low in the sky. I assume that was when Lord Vivec's energy was depleted. If we don't find a way to restore some of his power, and soon, Vardenfell is doomed. I'm not sure, but our first priority must be to restore some of the Lord Vivec's energy. After that, he can tell us what we need to do next. Did Barbas give any indication as to why he did this to Lord Vivec? Sothasir's private domain. It said that the place holds the secret to remaking Nirn. I suppose that would interest Barbas and his master, Clavicus Vile. But Clockwork City can wait. The moonlit hanging above us, not so much. Someone has to take care of Lord Vivec. I'll make the preparations necessary to return the power and the Blessing Stone to him. I'm really operating above my station here. I'm not the Archcanon, after all. Then again, neither was Tarvus, I suppose.
Don't let us die!
Save us!
Bardau is falling, and Red Mountain erupts, but Lord Vivec will still protect.
My bravery has left me.
May Arcade drive back the darkness, forevermore.
The land rumbles and shakes. The sky falls from above. What's next? No. Don't tell me. I'd rather not know.
You won't hurt me, will you?
Shiralas, where are you? It's too dangerous. My wife decides to run out and chase some damned looters in the middle of a disaster. Who does that sort of thing? You'd think Lord Vivec's overseer would have a clearer head. She ran into the unfinished cantons. She's been beating herself up over the fact that they're behind schedule, but she won't do anyone any good if she gets herself killed. My wife's tough as nails, but she's no warrior.
Get out of there!
That was too close. We barely got out of there alive. I can't believe the Overseer's still in there. What's she going to do when the Canton sinks into the bay? Yes, the Overseer ran in there when she saw the looters. We tried to follow, but then the moonlit began raining fire, ash, and chunks of rock. Last I saw, she was chasing the looters into the far Canton. Greed is a powerful motivator. We left tools and materials just sitting around, unprotected, when the priests ordered everyone to get off the streets. Looters happily risk their lives if there's a profit to be made.
No one steals for Lord Vivek! Another looter! You want a taste of my steel, too? No, wait. I remember you. You borrowed one of our blessing stones. Well, the Archcanon returned it after Lord Vivek was finished with it, so no need to fret about that. That's impossible! We installed the blessing stone back in its canton and finished construction on that section a short time ago. Wait a moment. Does this have something to do with the chunks of rock raining down on the city? I suppose you're in luck, then. We happen to have another blessing stone. It's at the third canton. Here. This key will open the door to that portion of the construction site. Just watch out for more looters, and the rocks falling out of the sky. Verona? Was she still angry with me? No, you don't have to answer that. I know my wife. I'll head back and let her know I'm all right. Tell Lord Vivek he can have our blessing stone, as long as he promises to do something about Bar Dao.
Were you able to get another blessing stone? We need to restore some of Lord Vivek's energy before the moonlit falls out of the sky. Perfect. I can feel Lord Vivek's essence inside it. I hope I remember how to do this. You'd better stand back, just in case. Hang on, Lord Vivek.
Sweet energy, like a sip of water for a thirsty man. Boost of energy from a blessing stone. How ingenious. The danger hasn't passed, but you've bought us a little time.
Oh, thank the three. Lord Vivek looks better already. Of course, the Blessing Stone is only a temporary measure. We still need to determine what to do about Barbas and the stolen energy. As Lord Vivek has written, the bravest heart never falters. You are truly Vivek's champion. I didn't know if the Blessing Stone was going to work, but I appreciate your help. Now go and talk to Lord Vivek. I'm sure he has a plan to share with us.
Outlander, my time grows short. Clarity emerges, like sunlight breaking through the clouds. Barbas must have replaced the Archcanon weeks ago. All to set the wheels in motion to steal my divine energy. Every move has a purpose. Stealing my energy sowed discord and disaster throughout the land, and ultimately revealed the location of the Clockwork City. If Barbas and his master can bypass the wards and enter Sothasil's domain, Clavicus Vile distracted me, weakened me, all to locate the Clockwork City. Perhaps we require a Daedra, to fight a Daedra. Azura's champion, Saren, in Archcanon's office. Seek guidance from her patron. But hurry, my time grows short.
Outlander, over here. I've been trying to find something that makes sense of all.
Mortal, the Lady of Twilight has words for you. So Vivek deigns to ask for help? I foresaw such an event, but scarcely believed it. Listen well, for if you continue to perform flawlessly, we might yet thwart the efforts of Clavicus Vile and his hound, Barbas. Just as I anticipated, the mysteries reveal that Barbas seeks to enter the Clockwork City. So far, Sothasil's wards have impeded him, but the Hound has Sunra. You must beat him to the prize, the reservoir that holds Vivek's stolen energy. Such knowledge has been hidden even from me, mortal. But I know someone who can provide you with the means to travel to Sothasil's creation. Stand back, and I shall summon the Mage of Cogs and Gears.
Interesting. That shouldn't have happened. Where in oblivion am I?
Mage, this mortal speaks with the authority of the Mother Soul.
Interesting. Summoned by a Daedric prince and her mortal mouthpiece. I was right in the middle of a crucial experiment. But I suppose I can spare a few clicks of the cogs for Azura and my erstwhile assistant. So, did you break the tonal inverter? No, not going to happen. No offense to the Lady of Twilight, but Sothasil was quite adamant about keeping the place hidden and warded against the Daedra. Wait. Pistons fall into place. This concerns Sunara and Lord Vivek, I presume. Barbas, another Daedra. Thinking. So Sothasil's forgotten tools modified to steal Vivek's energy. which in turn energized the Clockwork City. Lit it up like the top of Red Mountain. Even Vile's dog would be able to see that. What is Barbas after? Wait, gears click into place. The reservoir! You need to reach the reservoir that contains Vivek's stolen energy before Barbas. I can get us to the entrance in Set's vault, beneath the Mournhold Temple. Ready to go? You'll need my help. I know the city almost as well as Sophie Seal. Follow me.
The Mother Soul has blessed us both, Outlander. The Mother Soul, talking through me. Even after the tragedy of my brother, I am blessed. But time is running out for Vivek, for Vardenfell. You must follow Barrelzar and stop Barbas. Meanwhile, Azura has other work for me to do.
Sonora to get inside. We have to hurry. Daedra! Vile creatures of chaos. Deal with them, please. Agitated one of the Guardians. Amazing, isn't it? Such intricate work on something so small. Well, are you ready to go inside? Precisely. Oh, I see your concern. Forgot you haven't been here before. Use the entrance and you'll shrink down and get drawn inside. I understand that some of Sophie Seal's first entry methods had unintended effects, but now it's perfectly safe. Where else would you put it? Besides, once we get inside, it's much bigger than it looks. My former master said that working in miniature enhanced his precision, and it made it much more convenient to hide away and store. Now, in you go. Over here! Don't let the hounds see you. Vivek's energy. It flows through Sunara. That's how Barbas is able to circumvent the city's defenses. Why is he waiting over there? I'll never understand what motivates these Daedra. Yes, thanks to Sotha Seal's magic, my former master is exceedingly brilliant. I thought you already knew that. Anyway, there's no way we'd fit in here at our normal size, so the magic altered us as we passed through the doorway. Always a chance, just depends upon the way the gears align. But I don't think he can spare too much to use against us. He needs it to reach the reservoir and do whatever Clavicus Vile sent him to do. Now, I really think we need to get moving.
Finally arrived!
You can talk to the Daedric dog if you want, then follow me into the maintenance junction.
You may not believe this, but I really am happy to see you. I grew rather fond of you while I inhabited that dreadful dark elf form. Now you get to see me in all my glory. And soon, you'll be able to witness my greatest achievement. I'm going to bring my master's grandest plan ever to fruition. You'll be so proud of me. Just stay out of my way and enjoy the show. I promise it will be highly entertaining. Oh, yes, indeed. The grandest! My master and his partners seek to... Oh, no. Bad, Barbas. I almost gave away the surprise. Oh, you're a tricky one, you are. But my master will be so pleased that I stepped in and made his plan even better. My master has been trying to find this place for the longest time. He actually set the ball rolling. I saw an opportunity to improve his plan and make it better, so I took the initiative. This will get me back in my master's good graces, you'll see. Worried about the Archcanon? The poor old man. He died in his sleep, all peaceful-like. I saw an opportunity and leapt right in. Stupid Vivek, he never even noticed. I was masterful in the role, though. Don't you agree? Nice chat, but I've got to run. I've got a barrel of Vivek energy to collect. Ha ha ha!
I disabled most of the defenses in this section, but Sotha Seal installed numerous safeguards. I advise caution just in case. Barbas is ahead of us, but I know many paths through the city. Just like the fox that chased the hound. With my help, the probability calculates in your favor, but you must keep moving. The hound won't dawdle. Unless he comes upon an interesting smell, or a tree. Since we know Barbas's ultimate destination, I can open routes he can't access. Only one logical place. To the atelier where Sotha Seal conducted his study of divine energy. Sunara would have sent the stolen power there. It's not far. What Barbas and his master want with Vivek's energy, though, remains unclear. Most of them. Might be a random contraption or a wandering factotum still out there. And if Barber smuggles in more Daedra, the other defenses will become active. Clear the path while I open the route. Then I'll catch up and join you. The Hound is right. Disable the factotums and the gate couplings, and always repair them later.
I hope you're watching.
Hold on! Let's run! Whatever catches the Hound!
Use these controls. Follow Barbas. No matter. There's another path back the other way.
What's your head?
Do you want to brag about that, or should I?
Vivek's toy found a way through just like you said. But Barbas has Sunara. What does Vivek's toy have?
Vivek's toy has me, you annoying creature. This way.
Master, I'm close to our goal. With Vivek's energy, I can open a portal and...
Pray this works, my hound, for you interfered with a plan that wasn't intended for the likes of you.
I'm so close, Master. Soon the secrets of Sothasil City will be yours.
Get on with it, dog. Grant me access to the Clockwork City, and I'll reward you 1,000-fold.
When you're finished with those fabricants, follow me. Beautiful, isn't it? One of Sothasil's favorite atelier. I think Barbas is already inside. That's the atelier behind me. Not only is this the workshop where Sothasil experimented with divine energy, it also houses one of the reservoirs that can be used to power the entire city. A reservoir currently filled with Vivek's energy. Almost certainly, Sunara led him right to it. It won't take the Hound long to figure out how to access Vivek's stolen energy. Then he'll try to open a portal for his master, Clavicus Vile. Maybe. Probably. It's a distinct possibility. Certainly the Hound and his master think so. Whether it will actually work or not, you have to go in there and stop him. The danger's too great to ignore. As I said, the atelier is the workshop where Sothasil used Sunara to experiment with his own divine energy. The reservoir located inside was specifically designed to contain such massive power. As far as workshops go, it's a masterpiece. No, that's inadvisable. The atelier has defenses. You have no idea what it will do if it marks one of Sothasil's apprentices as an enemy. Neither do I. You go. I'll use the controls over there and help you from out here.
You can't stop me. The defenses won't let you in.
Torsion clutch activated. Open that vault and destroy its defenses. Controls responsive now. Open the North Fork and destroy its defenses. Final clutch is active. Open it and enter the energy reservoir. Range fluctuations ahead. Barbas is manipulating the energy reservoir. Hurry!
Like my new armor? I wanted to wear something special when I kill you. Let me give you a taste of divine power.
Is almost here. Seize Sonora, then retrieve Lord Vivek's energy from the reservoir conduit. Lots of interference. Makes it difficult to lock onto a destination. I'll go ahead to stabilize the connection.
Hound, you have done enough for now. you're the mortal who gave my poor dog so much trouble. I suppose we should have a chat, you and I. How dare you discipline my dog? He was only trying to appease his master, and I'd never harm a hair on whatever insignificant creature you hold dear. You, on the other hand, require a lesson in manners. Indeed, what ambition! As you can see, Barbas isn't a bad dog. He does get easily excited and overzealous. He embellished my plans somewhat, but it all worked out in the end. And we found the Clockwork City. This little flea thinks it's smart, but my plans are beyond its comprehension. Still, by delaying the inevitable, you caused my associates and I some trouble. You will stay here until you're no longer a threat. How does a few decades sound to you? Quiet, dog! Haven't you... Wait. Who dares intrude upon my lesson?
Found you! Over here! Oh, Clavicus Vile! This isn't good. I lost you somewhere between the Clockwork City and Vivec, but it was simple enough to trace your energy signature to this Daedric shrine. Unfortunately, some power is interfering with my efforts to open a portal for you. That would be unfortunate for you. Luckily, you have me to assist you. Well, me and Sonora. Expend a small amount of Vivec's energy at the statue, and that should provide enough of a distraction for me to pull you out of there.
Begone, meddling wizard!
Walked the streets of the Clockwork City and you stood in the presence of 2 Daedric princes. But you still have work to do, Assistant. Talk to Vivec. You must return his divine energy to him before he fades from existence.
I've done everything the Lady of Dawn and Dusk instructed me to. But now Vivec's fate is in your hands. Do what you can, Outlander, and do it quickly.
Thank the three. You've returned. Lord Vivec can't hang on much longer. Please, you have to help him.
My time draws to a close. Were you successful? Can you restore my energy? So you retrieved my stolen energy. You stopped Barbas. Now, return what is rightfully mine. To quote my 75th exaltation, certainty is the brother of fear. Nothing is certain, but I have confidence in you, in what you have done. Use the staff. Return my energy, or not. In a little while. It won't matter.
Oh,
use Sunara and restore my energy.
Praise Vivec, his energy is restored.
I must say, that was much more dramatic than when Sotha Seal manipulated his own energy. Of course, he didn't usually drain himself nearly to death. Perhaps the next time I see him, I'll suggest that. An interesting experiment, to say the least.
It appears to have worked. Vivek's energy is restored. While I've never wished them harm, I also never thought I'd help save the life of a tribunal pretender. Ah well, at least Red Mountain has returned to its slumber.
That was truly amazing. You saved Lord Vivek and Vardenfell, and all of Morrowind. I don't know what to say. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so very, very much.
Remarkable. No Ordinator or Armiger could have done any better. You uncovered a Daedric spy in our midst, brought a living god back from the brink of death, and saved all of Vardenfell. Well done, my friend. As my next sermon shall proclaim, modesty is the false cloak of a flatterer, or the sincere garment of the humble. Again, you have my gratitude, and that of all my people. Indeed, even those who rail against the tribunal owe you their lives. You have done much for me and for Vardenfell, but as the warrior says, do not think the battle is over when the enemy is dead. The hearts and minds of the people must also be won. I must ask you for one more service. Gratitude is its own reward, I once told the crowds in Ebonheart. But I found that some of my followers appreciate something more tangible. Help me reward those who aided in the saving of Vardenfell, so we can reassure my people. To start, retrieve the Archcanon's signet from the Hall of Wisdom. It is time to appoint a new head priest. I shall gather my people and meet you at my statue on the central canton. It shall be a glorious ceremony, my friend. Rejoice. You cursed the darkness with good reason. Now praise the return of the light. The eyes and ears of the warrior poet returns, and just in time for the gathering crowd. Were you able to locate the Archcanon's signet? Continue to guard it, for it represents not only my loyal servant Tarvis, but also the past and future of my priesthood. And take this as well, to aid you in your next task. You have been my eyes and ears in the world. Now be my hands. Within the modest sack resides gifts for my faithful servants. Blessings from me, though I would have you deliver them. You served me in adversity. Now join me in celebration. As I call forth my faithful, reach into the sack and give them the first thing you find. They shall hear my words of praise and gratitude, while it shall be your hand that rewards them. Are you ready, friend of Vivek? Overseer Shiralas, step forth. Overseer Shiralas, you sacrificed your blessing stones to aid the warrior poet. Well done. Take these recharged stones and finish building my city, after relaxing with your patient wife.
Thank you, Lord Vivek. I shall do as you ask.
Barrels up. Approach. Your knowledge of the mysteries of my brother Sotha Seal and the intricate twists and turns of portal magic were invaluable. Take this, and use it well to further your experiments.
Gemstones, filled with a tiny fraction of divine energy. Amazing and so very generous. With careful tuning, this could improve portal magic 100-fold. Thank you.
Canon Levoul, kneel before me.
Was that... Did Lord Vivek summon me?
Archcanon Tarvis served us well until his death. But when I was most in need of assistance, Canon Levoul rose to the occasion. Now rise once more as Archcanon Levoul.
My lord, I'm not worthy. But I shall endeavor to become so. Thank you. And I can't wait to inform my ancestors.
In every poem, it's the last stanza that holds the most meaning. Once a stranger to our land, now a friend forever. Step forward. You come before me with an empty sack, but have no fear. As I have written, treat your enemies well, and your friends even better. Know that I consider you to be a very good friend. Will you accept the honor I'm about to bestow upon you? Then let it be known that from this moment forth, you shall be called the Champion of Vivec, and along with my thanks, take this modest reward. I foresee even greater achievements in your future, but for now, be content to be the hero of Morrowind.
Archcanon? I don't think I'll ever get used to that. Still, it's been a grand adventure, hasn't it, my friend? I suppose if I could survive everything that happened, I can certainly serve as the High Priest to Lord Vivec. How hard could it be?
I had no idea you were in Lord Vivec's good graces. Perhaps you could put in a good word for me. I'm currently in negotiations with House Redoran about rebuilding a settlement. And have no fear, I'll keep my end of the bargain with the Ashlanders.
A vacation? I don't think Shiralas has taken time off since we got married. I hear Seydanine is beautiful this time of year. Maybe we could take a cruise up the coast.
Me? Among all these fine people? When I received Lord Vivec's summons, I didn't even change my clothes. I feel honored and embarrassed all at once.
What a singular honor. I've never been invited to a living god's soiree before. I'm just glad I was able to get all of the webs off my manservant. I'd hate for him to sully my reputation by making a bad impression.
Pity there was nothing in that sack of blessings for me. At least that rock hanging in the sky didn't fall and bop me on the head. Oh, what am I saying? The night is still young. You might not want to stand so close, just in case.
I may not consider him to be a true deity, but Vivec doesn't seem to be an entirely bad sort. I'll be heading back to my tribe soon. I'm glad we got a chance to see each other again before I take my leave. I lost my brother to ambition and became the champion of Azura. From that point of view, I suppose I'm doing as well as can be expected. I'll return to the tribes, pick up where Chodala and I left off, before he decided he was the Nerevarine. Not directly, but I do have a sense that malignant forces are gathering on the plains of Oblivion. But that could just be the scrib jelly and cheese I ate for lunch. Farewell, Outlander. May the Queen of the Night Sky guide you on your travels.
How much longer do I need to stay here? Social situations have never been my strong suit. I want to get back to my tower and experiment with this wonderful gift Vivec bestowed upon me. I already have ideas how to improve magical transportation. May Arcade drive back the darkness.
The warrior poet shall write of your deeds in story and song, my friend. You will be remembered for your service to Vardenfell. Now go. See the wonders of our great land. There are others who need your help. Of that I am certain.